Last summer, I worked as a therapeutic recreation student at a long-term care facility. Throughout my time there, I began to develop close relationships with the residents and quickly learned what programs they enjoy doing. With the allotted time given for programs, I often found myself going overtime or into my breaks so that they could enjoy these programs just a little bit longer. Missing breaks and working overtime on a frequent basis often left me feeling drained and stressed out. I neglected to take time for myself and to look after my own needs, which ultimately affected how I worked as a TR student. We often hear about the effects of burnout on police officers and doctors, but we forget about TRs. As a TR, we need to think about our own heart, and in turn, this can help you care for others as well.
Between 40% and 85% of helping professionals develop vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue, and/or high rates of traumatic symptoms. Working to please and care for others often interferes with one's self-care routine and can take a toll on a person's well-being. Those who are able to adequately meet their needs are often able to better cope with everyday stressors. Compassion fatigue ranges from 7.3 to 40% of workers in intensive care settings and 25 to 70% among inexperienced mental health professionals. Therefore, health professionals who repeatedly care for people who have experienced trauma have a higher chance of developing compassion fatigue. So what is self-care, and why is it important?
How does the athlete take care of the body? How does the therapist take care of the self?
Self-care involves looking after ourselves and our own needs by participating in activities that maintain well-being and continue personal development. It may be difficult to focus on yourself, but there are many reasons why practicing self-care is great for everyone involved. This includes the clients as well. Practicing self-care is not selfish.
It is important to find a balance between caring for others and yourself. Similar to a cell phone battery, care providers, such as TRs, need to recharge and help care for their clients. Without taking the time to care for yourself, the prolonged overextension may eventually result in burnout and/or compassion fatigue.
Burnout can be devastating for one's career, health, and overall well-being. Some symptoms of burnout include anxiety, depression, and decreased interest in job. When TRs feel burnt out, they are more likely to be triggered by something the client does and respond negatively. This is known as countertransference.
Countertransference has the potential of damaging the therapeutic relationship between the TR and the client. This is why taking the time to care for yourself is beneficial and helps you care for your clients through an open and present mind.
Another risk of neglecting self-care is compassion fatigue. This can occur when the TR has continuous exposure to traumatizing events, such as when listening to clients' personal stories. This can influence the TR's work performance and create consequences outside of work.
An article by Francois Mathieu notes that there are many negative impacts of compassion fatigue. The list is quite exhaustive. A couple to highlight are exhaustion, reduced empathy, irritability, dread of working with certain clients, and problems maintaining relationships.
This is why finding that work-life balance is essential. When helping others, it is easy to become overwhelmed and consumed by aspects of the practice. Bringing these experiences home with you can prevent you from taking that necessary break to help clear the mind. If this continues, you might distance yourself from people you care about. Fortunately, self-care can help prevent burnout and compassion fatigue.
So how is self-care connected to Therapeutic Recreation Ontario and the Canadian Therapeutic Recreation Association?
How does this information on self-care relate to TRO and CTRA? Well, Therapeutic Recreation Ontario defines the purpose of TR as the following: to enable all individuals to achieve quality of life and optimal health through meaningful participation in recreation and leisure.
Similarly, the Canadian Therapeutic Recreation Association's philosophy of TR is that it is a profession that recognizes leisure, recreation, and play as integral components of quality of life.
You're likely familiar with the term practice what you preach, which by definition means to do yourself what you advise others to do.
In society, we value information that has a foundation in truth. If a doctor prescribes medicine to you that they themselves wouldn't use, would it not be difficult to trust?
It's important to demonstrate that we value recreation. In order for our clients to care for themselves, we need to care for ourselves too.
In regularly experiencing the true meaning of leisure, we can better attest to the benefits. By doing this, we indirectly use TR for ourselves through self-care.
We decided to ask 2 TR professionals what self-care looks like for them and what students should bring with them into the field.
So I graduated from therapeutic recreation in fall of 2015. I've been working at Sunnybrook as a recreation therapy assistant for just over a year now. So far from working in the field, I found that the stress really comes in waves. So one week it can be really low-key, easygoing, and then the next week it's completely different. It's the complete opposite. So it's really finding a way in how to deal with that stress when it arises, which I'm still trying to do actually. But I would say my number one tool to deal with the stress is self-care. And it's taken me a while to actually kind of hone in on what self-care looks like for me. I know it's different for every single person, so I think it's really just trying a whole bunch of different things and really paying attention to what makes you feel really good. So personally, I've found that doing yoga is absolutely amazing for me. I do it a couple of times a week. It helps clear my mind, makes my body feel really good, and it's great. I also love to cook for myself and to eat really well. I get really excited about good food, and so I absolutely do that for my self-care. And then I'm also working on not really beating myself up on certain things. Like if one weekend on a Saturday I just have a completely lazy day where I'm just sitting around watching Netflix all day, I'm really working on not, like I said, beating myself up about that. So just letting myself have a really lazy day, because sometimes you really need those. So yeah, I guess my advice to you would be not to give yourself a hard time on anything, and also just to try a whole bunch of different things and really find out what self-care looks like for you.
Self-care is looking after yourself, whether it's physically, emotionally, socially, making sure that you are taking care of yourself and getting the care that you need. As TR practitioners, we are constantly talking to our clients about the importance of living a well-balanced leisure lifestyle, and in return, we sometimes forget to do that ourselves. There are times that you're going to need to take care of yourself and take time for yourself, and that's okay. There is a time as a new TR practitioner I needed to take time for myself. My first year, I worked so hard and I never wanted to take holidays. There was a quick turnover at work in long-term care, and I could feel myself getting burnt out. I was getting stressed out. I was tired all the time, and I took that time for myself. I took a week off just to recuperate and get myself back in check, because I'm not going to be beneficial to my residents if I'm not looking after myself as well. And as a new TR practitioner in the field, you guys are going to need to understand that it's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to sit back and say, you know what, I'm feeling stressed out, I'm getting burnt out, I need to look after myself. Because if you're going to be working in the TR field for 35 years, you're going to need to be able to look after yourself as well.
As we transition from university life to professional life, the workload will remain the same, but the day-to-day experiences will ultimately shape the years to come. In these moments of transition, it is important to reflect on yourself and realize the importance of self-care throughout your life. How will you indulge in self-care as a therapeutic recreation specialist after you leave University of Waterloo?
My self-care is going for walks.
My self-care is reading.
My form of self-care is the gym.
My self-care is coloring.
My self-care is puzzling.
My self-care is running.
We hope that our video has helped explain what self-care is, how compassion fatigue can affect your personal and work life, the importance of self-care, to continue to practice what you preach, and how we can make our transition into the TR profession a successful one. How will you?
3 words for you. Treat yourself.